This is my roommate.
Hey everybody.
Not for long. This is Allie, my childhood bestie. You know, I feel like we should explain like our whole friendship story because otherwise like it's like
they're probably so
story.
confused. I haven't been on here in a minute.
Let's just restart.
Yeah, they're probably like, it's been a while. Allie's back.
Okay, so restart. Okay, so hi.
Hey guys.
She's back.
I'm back.
Okay, so we have such a fun little story. So Allie and we grew up in the same community. We were all in church together, and our families decided moving out here into the country that they were like, we want all of our kids to grow up and be family and friends for the rest of their life. And so that was like the vision that was set out, and we were like crazy children.
Yes.
We had no other friends either. We were really close up until we were like 15. So in 2021.
I'm 16.
Yes. No, because I didn't have my license.
Right, I
We
didn't
stopped being
either,
friends.
but I just turned 16.
Okay.
Remember, because
But
that was the
15.
start of the drama, because I didn't invite you to my birthday day.
You didn't? Okay, so
Anyways.
basically what happened was I started getting really social. Like, I joined a new church, and I just, like, really started to grow into, like, the social person that I am now today.
Yes.
And it was really hard on our friendship because, like, we just hadn't known anything different.
I was like, she has no time for me, because I only knew her like to only like hang out with me, and
yeah.
I was feeling a little bit like left behind, and like
Yeah, and I felt like I couldn't be like fun and social and then also like have you. I don't know. I just felt like I had expectations to
I
like
was your burden.
worried that like you would be offended. So then I was like,
Which I was.
We were just going in different directions, and we had been friends our whole life, and so it was like I'm choosing my own destiny kind of thing. Like I felt like I needed to break off and be my own person and all the crazy things. So yeah, we had a phone call and we tried to communicate and have a rational conversation. And I like told you the whole time, I was like, things are good, we're good.
Afterwards I was like,
good conversation.
Well, I was like, good, but a part of me was like, oh, I feel like we like there's still something going on. Like I was like, I feel like
it wasn't quite
it wasn't. And normally our conversations would go really well, but I sensed something was off.
And then we got off the phone, and I texted her, and I was like, I just think we need a break from each other. And then she unfollowed me on all platforms.
I immediately was so upset because I'm feeling like, again, I had no like other friends, so I'm like, how could she do this? She betrayed me.
Yeah.
And I'm like really emotional at 16. And
I don't know
whatever.
why I did that though.
And so I immediately was like crying to my sister, and I removed her. I removed her as a follower on Instagram because I said if she doesn't want to be a part of my life, she doesn't get to see what's going on. But then I texted her a few days later. We never talked about this, and I asked if you wanted to meet and we could like actually talk about what's going on. You never responded. I wanted to like work through it, and you shouldn't respond. I was like, because she doesn't.
That's so mean. That's so cruel.
We weren't friends for like 2 years.
And so much happened.
Which
and
is
sometimes
crazy.
she'll drop some lore about like that 2
my
years,
life.
and I'm like, what? I don't remember that. And I'm like, oh, it's because we weren't talking.
Right.
If I had been like, okay, where am I at with Allie? And like, is this right? But I literally just didn't. Like, it was just like, I just like completely was like, like, I don't know. I just like didn't think
I don't
about
know
it.
if I thought about it too, just because
It was just like,
I had so much going on that day.
Things
you know?
are. Like, this is it. This is the way things are. There's just no like question.
We both were just like moving on with our life so much, so I think that's why it took so long.
Yeah,
because we
so
were going
busy.
through so many other things.
Yeah.
That I feel like our friendship was like on the back burner to like reevaluate, you know?
Yeah.
At least for me it was. Like,
yeah. No, that's definitely true. Okay, so then we both got invited to one of my best friend Mackenzie's birthday parties. And I like knew you were gonna be there, and I was like, I don't care.
I know, I was like, oh, it's gonna be, I just knew I was gonna be sad.
Yeah.
Because I saw that like you were like the same. Like you hadn't like changed, and
yeah. Well, how did you see that? What do you mean? Like when we were there?
yeah, like and we immediately started like we were talking a little bit, and we were like in group conversations, and we just immediately started like connecting
these
again. And
jokes.
we were making jokes, and I was like, oh man, like
I know.
nothing's changed. Like
That's how I felt too. So literally up to this point, like nothing. Like I hadn't thought about it. I hadn't like, been like remorseful or anything.
Me neither.
You're welcome. And then that day, when we started like joking around and like realizing too, like we still have all the same mutual friends, we're in the same community, our lives are the same. We like, I was like, wait, what's the point?
I know, I left. I was like, something's different.
Yes, yes, literally, because you said bye to me.
I did. I made it a point. I was going to say bye to her because I was like, she needs to know that like I'm
like fine.
Yeah, I'm okay, and like
yeah, and that meant so much.
I enjoyed the day,
and that's exactly what I knew you were communicating. So we were just like on the same.
That's so good. Okay. Okay.
So then I got it in my head, maybe I do want to be your friend again. Or also, even it was just like, maybe like we don't need to be at odds with each other, because what's the point? Like,
yeah, and I was also thinking about it at that time. I was really thinking about it, and I was like, oh man, I just missed her. I was like, oh, I'm not angry. I was like, I moved on, and I kind of accepted the fact. I was like, well, if she wants to be friends, like, I'll say yes. I don't know, but I was like, I feel like it needs to happen in like in an intentional way. And,
yeah.
I had a feeling she was gonna like, if she were to come around, do something very, very intentional, and like I think I literally in my mind was like, she needs to write me a letter and mail it to my house.
Yeah.
And like for us to be friends again.
Yeah, so in my own little brain, like not knowing anything that she was thinking, I was like, you know what I really need to do? If I'm gonna make things right, like I need to like write her a letter, because it's obviously a big deal. Like I literally broke off our friendship for no reason. And also I think being childhood friends, there's like just like more weight. It's just this bigger deal than any other normal friendship. And so then I wrote her a letter and I typed it up. Right? It was typed.
Yeah.
Okay. I typed it up on my computer, and it basically was just like, this is why I did what I did. I'm really sorry. I apologize. I hope you've been well. Type thing. So I mailed it to her house. But here's the annoying part. It literally took a week because I put it in on a Sunday, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, it's probably already there around like Tuesday. And then I went to the mailbox, and for some reason, it hadn't even left my house. So I just like waited and waited, and then it wasn't until like the end of the week that you texted me.
I just remembered in your letter you had said like, when I think about like Laura getting married soon, like weddings and stuff, I can't imagine like not celebrating that with you.
Yes. That's
I just remembered that we got to celebrate her wedding together and like all day be there.
So, and how was the best day?
It was the best day ever.
Like I knew that you were gonna be in Laura's wedding, and I knew that was coming up, and so I was like, how are we gonna do this and just not be friends?
Right.
Like no, there's no reason. Like no.
So then I got her letter, and I was on my way to work, and I was already like so late for work, but I was like, I saw her name, and I was like, oh, I'm reading this right now. And I started reading it, and then I was just crying.
That's so funny.
And I was so happy.
Yes.
And like I was at home, my mom was there. I was like, Mom, she wants to be friends again. My mom was so happy. And then like I even told the person like I was working for her.
You're like, guess what?
Yeah. And then I had already like written her letter, so I like immediately responded. Like I texted her.
She sent me a PDF file. Yeah, so then we got coffee, and it was so fun. You had a list of like things you wanted to catch me up on.
I forgot.
Like,
it was a long list.
It was awesome. Yeah. And like the whole vibe was just so normal and so good.
We talked for like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, it was really long. And I remember like driving home, and I was like, I was so happy.
I felt so awkward at first because it was just
You did not seem awkward. I thought I was more awkward than you were.
I thought I was so awkward because it was just like we had, I don't know, it was such a big like growth, I guess, in our lives.
Yeah.
And so, or just like big changes in seasons, so.
And then everything was like normal. Like instantly you started like calling me, asking for advice, like literally just normal things. And I was just like, this is crazy. And you would like come sleep over, and I was just like,
back to normal. Like nothing had ever changed.
That's crazy.
Like, we weren't ever not friends. That's why we're still surprised. Like, oh wait, that happened when we weren't friends.
We're like, oh, just laugh about it.
Yeah.
We're just like, why?
Because it doesn't even feel like that even happened.
No.
You know?
So then a random time came where Allie was looking for a place to live, and I was like, wait. I lived in the apartment still back in my parents' house, which is like a guest house on my parents' property, and I was like, you could come live with me. And then she was like, okay, maybe, but also my sister has a whole house with a lot of rooms, and it's close to where she works and like close to everything she goes to. So then she was like, I'll just move in with your sister. And I was like, this is amazing. So then a couple months go by, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm looking for a place to live. And I was like, maybe I can go to my sister's. So then we all three lived here, and it was such a blast. And I lived here from June, July, and August of this year. And now I'm moving back.
Yeah, and I'm really sad. But
I'm sad too. I was conscious first when I got here because I really wanted to respect like you, if you like really needed alone time, because I never lived with somebody else, so I didn't know how like in the way I was gonna be, and so I was like really thinking hard about like, okay, I don't want to like overstep. If she wants to be alone, that's fine. If she doesn't want to spend all her time with me, then that's fine. But
and I was feeling the same. Like anytime she'd be open her room, I was like, man, I can't go in there. Like she probably wants to be alone. Like she's got to do work.
Yeah, she's so serious.
Yes.
So then finally this one day, I like went upstairs because like, well, I have to go work, and Allie was hanging out downstairs.
And I was like, why don't you just do your work down here? And then he was like, really?
You let me do that? Oh my gosh. I was like, I've been wanting to hang out with you.
And I was like, why haven't you said anything? And then she was like, I wasn't sure if you wanted to. So that went on for a while of just like, hey, do you want to come sit on the couch with me?
I'm so excited because I am building a tiny house in my parents' property, and it's gonna be so great. I'm so excited. This is like so me. I feel like it's the perfect next step for my life. I'm so pumped. So y'all saw the video where I went to Austin and looked at houses. So if you watch to the end of that video, you'll notice that I mentioned that the Austin house had a lot of imperfections and it was really expensive. So my mom and I together kind of came to the conclusion that like it would be so much cheaper to build this house ourselves, and it would last forever because our builder guy is like amazing and he knows exactly what he's doing, and whatever he builds is gonna last forever. And I think that's a lot more valuable than having a house that might, like, if it gets rained on too much, it might start like falling apart within 5 years. Like we just didn't want to deal with any of those questions. So that process is starting in like 2 weeks and I'm so excited. And so I wanted to like go home and be there so that when he comes over to start building and he has questions, it's not like my mom's constantly calling me being like, do you want this kind of window or this kind of window? So it's gonna be crazy, and she's helping me move out. Yay!